Alright, so how do you? What is insurance? Insurance is protection against possible financial loss. An insurance company or insurer is a risk shared in the business. The insurance company agrees to take risk of the policyholder.
Alright, risk management. There's 4 ways. Number 1, risk avoidance. That's when you avoid failure to begin with. An example would be not driving to avoid traffic accidents. Number 2 is risk reduction. It's decreasing the likelihood that a risk causes harm. And an example would be wearing your seatbelt. Number 3 is risk assumption, which is taking responsibility for a risk. It's a small loss, and that's like not getting insurance for a car that is crappy and you don't need insurance for. Number 4 is risk shifting, and that's just giving responsibility to someone else. And an example is insurance.
Planning an insurance program has 4 steps. Step 1, set insurance goals. Minimize risks while staying in your budget. Step 2, develop a plan. What do you need to insure, and how much can you afford to insure? Step 3, put your plan into action. Discover what you needed in insurance and change your plans if necessary. Step 4, review your results. Reevaluate your plan every 2 to 3 years. And what new risks do you have to cover?
Then there's also property and liability insurance. Property insurance is the coverage of your possessions. This will protect all of your goods from natural disasters and other people's stupidity. Liability insurance is also when someone else is injured on your property and they sue you and your insurance covers this. This picture shows a house getting smashed. That is property insurance. Kapow! These are 2 cars crashing. That's liability and property insurance. And that says car smash. Good job, guys.
Hey!
How do I turn this off?
Hello. Have you ever wanted to buy a house? Well, here's how.
First, you need to determine your home needs. Some benefits of owning your own house is that once you pay off your house, all you have to pay is your property tax. You have the liberty to change things at your own will. You can hang many Pepe paintings, and you can paint Pepe on your wall because you don't have to pay any damages to the landlord. Drawbacks are you have to pay for your own upkeep, like if you get a leak in your house and you have to groom your own yard. There are a lot of different types of housing, such as multi-unit dwellings, condominiums, cooperative housing, single-family dwellings, prefabricated homes, and mobile homes. You have to decide what your affordability is for your house based on how much you make, and then decide which type of house you'd like to purchase. Step 2, evaluate the property, selecting a location. You have to select a housing based upon location, schools in the area, proximity to work, and local zoning laws, such as what buildings may be built around your house. A real estate agent is somebody who will help you find a home, and they may be paid by the seller or the buyer, depending on the situation. Before you make a final deal on a house, it's important to have a home inspector come and inspect your house before purchasing. They can find faults and expenses in the home.
Okay, so step 3 is you need to check the price of the property. So you're going to check through your house that you're looking at to buy to find any damages that could possibly lower the price of the house.
What is the price of the house for Pepe?
Lots of memes.
So you're going to negotiate the price with the seller and make an offer. They'll either accept it or deny it. If they deny it, you can either keep on making offers or just leave it alone because they don't want to.
Alright. Alright, step 4 is obtain financing. You need to come up with money for a down payment, and it is easier to get a loan the greater portion paid up front. It is easier to get a loan. And mortgage is a long-term loan extended to someone who buys property. There are points, which are extra charges that must be paid by the buyer to the lender. and if you can't pay your lender, they can foreclose or take possession of your property.
The very last step is closing your transaction. After evaluating all the damages to the house, you can make an agreement with the seller and meet somewhere in the middle. You pay all the closing fees and shake hands. You determine the ultimate selling price, and you're done. You got yourself a house.
So, our section was all about housing and renting. So, for the housing section, we've made a step-by-step guide to deciding where you want to live. So, step 1 is to make a decision on where you want your location to be. So that would mean things like how close it is to where you work, how long you plan to stay in one place, and how much privacy you want. So, for example, an apartment downtown is a lot different than a small house in the suburbs. Then step 2 is to look at your life situation. So a young single person is going to have a very different life situation than a couple with children. So a young single person might want to opt for a small apartment, while a couple with children might want to go for a house. And if you're retired, you can just go nuts.
Alright, step 3 was rent versus buy. With renting, you have more mobility, there's less maintenance, it's usually cheaper. And then with buying, you have more privacy, better financial security, you have some tax advantages, and you have a pride of ownership. Step 4 was choose the type of house that you want. So, for example, there's apartments, a house, condominium, or a mobile home.
Step 5 would be to look for the helpful resources you can use to, like the libraries, newspapers, the internet, family and friends, real estate agents, or government agencies. Now, for renting is all about finding a place that fits your situation the best.
Now, when you rent, there's two things that come, two terms that come that are really in handy here. So you have your tenant, and that's the person who they pay to live in the place. They pay to the landlord. The landlord owns the property that the tenant is paying for.
Some advantages and disadvantages of finding a house is how mobile renting one is, the fewer responsibilities that it takes to actually like clean the house and stuff, because you may have a maid or something that does that for you, and the low initial costs. Some disadvantages are the financial and lifestyle and restrictions, and some legal issues. The cost factors of renting may be location, living space, utilities, security deposits, and renter's insurance.
Insurance. Motor vehicle bodily injury coverages. This is the majority of money that insurance companies will spend on an accident. Includes like your injury payments, medical expenses, and uninsured motorist protection for others involved. Next is bodily injury liability, and this just pays for your physical injury, and which is caused by a vehicle accident.
Okay. Are we good to go? Can I move on? Okay. I did no fault insurance, which is both insurance companies pay for their drivers in a car accident regardless of who's at fault. So no matter who crashes into who, each insurance company pays for their own driver. And then there's multiple types of insurances and coverage, like wage loss insurance and emergency road services or automobile services. Okay. There's also medical payment insurance, and it's an insurance for medical expenses of anyone injured or in your vehicle, including you. And uninsured motorist protection is insurance that covers you and your family member if you are involved in an accident with an uninsured or hit and run driver. Property damage credibility is motor vehicle insurance that applies when you damage the property of others. Collision insurance is insurance that covers damage to your vehicle when it's involved in an accident.
Driver classification is based on age, sex, marital status, driving records, and driving habits. If you are under 25 or older than 70, you need to pay a higher premium. If you have accidents or tickets, your rates will increase. And to reduce vehicle insurance premiums, you need to compare companies. Premium discounts are to keep your rates down, and you need to maintain a good driving record. No matter what coverage you have, motor vehicle insurance is a valuable and mandatory protection to include in any personal finance plan.
Hello, fellow lads. So today we're teaching you about chapter 14.1. The first topic on today is health insurance. Health insurance is a form of protection that eases the financial burden people may experience as a result of injury.
Coinsurance, the percentage of medical expenses the policyholder must pay in addition to the deductible amount.
The next topic we are talking about is stop loss. Stop loss is a provision that requires the policyholder to pay all costs up to a certain amount, after which the insurance company pays 100% of the remaining expenses covered in the policy.
The next topic is co-payment. And co-payment is a flat fee that you can pay every time you receive a covered service.
We also have the COBRA plan. And COBRA is an acronym for Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. It is when you get fired from a job, you still get some of the bonuses like health insurance that your employer previously had for you.
So this is my picture that I have drawn. This guy is falling down and he's saying, I should have gotten life alert. One of those moments. And then this is the insurance helping him up because he's got like a leg thing. And then this is what the insurance pays. And then this is the deductible that they pay.
This is our video on chapter 14.1. Thank you for watching, and we will see you later.
Insurance coverage that provides protection for your residence and its associated facility financial risks. Household belongings such as furniture, appliances, and clothing are covered by the personal property portion of homeowners insurance. Personal property authority is additional property insurance that covers the damage or loss of high-value items.
Personal liability and related coverages. Personal liability protects you and members of your family from being sued for personal injuries on your property. And the costs include legal defense. The basic coverage is about $100,000, but that's normally not enough. Extended liability policies are for the wealthy and for business owners. That covers up to $1 million or more. And then there's medical payment coverage, which pays costs of minor accident injuries to visitors on your property. The coverage is usually up to $5,000.
So for renter's insurance, it includes personal property protection and additional living expenses coverages. And the home insurance policy forms, some forms are Some forms are available in some forms aren't available in all situations, but not available in all locations, so you can't go somewhere and get the same as you would, like, say down here or in St. George or something like that. But by choosing the right amount of coverage and knowing the factors of your coverage and liability rates, if you're borrowing money from to buy a home, the lender will require you to have property insurance.
Home insurance cost factors are location of the home. Like if you are close to water supply, you'll have lower rates. But if you live in a place where where crime is common, then there'll be higher rates because there's more possibility of accidents. The type of structure may also influence the cost factor of insurance, like a brick house versus a wood house in an earthquake. Price, coverage, amount, and policy type, like a $300,000 home versus a $100,000 home. Some insurance companies will give you discounts if you have like a fire extinguisher, a smoke detector, deadbolt security system. Also, you should always compare different insurance companies because some might have better benefits or coverages for you.